So welcome to this presentation as we continue to reflect on the different points of reflection on the walk to Calvary. Particularly in this series and today we are reflecting on the mystery of the Eucharist in the context of betrayal and bread. We see that in Luke chapter 22, 19 to 20, as Jesus was preparing to leave this earth, he prepared his disciples by setting the last episode on the table, the dining. As they were dining together, there were those who were still committed and loyal to Jesus. And amongst the 12 that gathered around the table, there was even Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. The question that we may ask ourselves is that as Jesus was beginning his ministry, he invited the 12 after praying all night long, and then he chose the 12. Was Jesus not aware that he was going to be betrayed by Judas Iscariot? Definitely, Jesus, being God that he was aware that among the 12, Judas used to help himself to treasury, and he had that love for money, and indeed he was going to betray him. But the choice of Jesus choosing the 12 did not mean that the 12 were the best, but it meant that there's something that Jesus wanted to make out of the 12 that he chose, weak though they were. So even in the context of the meal that they had during the Last Supper, Jesus was aware of the fact that Judas was to betray him. But he still went ahead to give him an opportunity to dine with him, showing that indeed Jesus was God and a loving God, and Jesus was a merciful Father who never wanted vengeance, who never wanted to deal with Judas immediately, but wanted to give him an opportunity to change, to experience the love and the mercy of God, and to change for the better. That's the more reason why, even in the context of that Last Supper, Jesus had to even break the bread and give it, share it with his enemy, who was Judas Iscariot. He knew what was going to happen, and he actually reminded him that what he was about to do, he was supposed to do it. What do we pick from the context of the Eucharistic meal that the disciples had as a Last Supper with Jesus? We pick the fact that Jesus is a loving Father who is inviting us, is our Master who is inviting us and allowing us to participate in his ministry and to partake of his body and his blood as a way of showing mercy to us. All we need to do is to dispose ourselves in such a manner that recognizes the fact that the God that we believe in is a loving God, is a merciful God who is inviting all of us and giving us that opportunity to serve him. The other fact that we see from the context of the meal is the fact that it is a uniting meal that Jesus hands over to his disciples. And then he institutes the, the sacrament of the holy orders as a way of perpetuating his love. Hence the command, do this in memory of me. Continue showing love to others. Continue feeding even your enemies. And this is the invitation to which all of us are called to begin with, to participate in the meal of love as the Eucharist. What is our attitude towards the Eucharist? Many of us, if not all of us, come to receive the Eucharist with hearts that are not willing to forgive. Many of us come to receive the Eucharist with hearts that are not willing to love. But this is contrary to what we see in the context of the meal of the Last Supper, that Jesus was able to feed even the enemy, a sign of forgiveness and a sign of God's love. That God's love is not conditional, it's unconditional. Many of us, if not all of us, we wouldn't want to support our enemies. We wouldn't want to feed our enemies. We wouldn't want to do good to our enemies. So the Eucharistic meal that the disciples had actually brings out the golden rule of doing unto others what we would love them to do. That even when we have faltered, we would want God to forgive us. Even when we have faltered, we would want others to forgive us. Why not reciprocating the same? Why not loving others even if it hurts? Betrayal is not a simple thing. Many of us have been betrayed, or we have either betrayed others or we have been betrayed. As we betray others, we want forgiveness. And we need forgiveness. And as others betray us, we need to forgive them and share the Eucharistic meal where we meet the presence of Jesus in reality. So let us continue to pray in this Lenten season that Lenten season may give us an opportunity to get back to God, to get back to Jesus, as God is the loving Father. As we are treated to the fact that we find in Luke chapter 15, where the prodigal son had to make up his mind and go back to the Father. And instead of feeding from the pods that were coming from what the swine were feeding on, the son had to go back to the Father to feed on the table of the Father. The table of the Eucharist is an open table for all those that are in need of God, all those that are in need of Jesus in their lives. We are all invited. Let's come back to Jesus. Let's come back to God. And let's also make peace with others that we may enjoy the table of the Eucharist, the table of forgiveness, the table of love, and the table of peace. May God richly bless you all. Amen.